Welcome friends, this is the 7th session of this course on manufacturing strategy. We have understood that there is a strong need to use manufacturing function, and not only manufacturing function, but other functional activities also, which can contribute in the development of corporate strategy for the organization. We are focusing more on operations strategy in this particular course. Now, having understood that thing, in today's session we are going to discuss that what are the different perspectives of manufacturing strategies. So, P stand for perspective. So, what are the different perspectives of manufacturing strategies that we are going to discuss in this particular session. Authors have given various definitions of manufacturing strategy, though in our previous session we also mentioned that more literature, more work is produced in the area of marketing strategy, in the area of human resource strategy, and less work is done in the area of operations or manufacturing strategy. But whatever work is available, even in that people have given different views, different perspectives, different meanings to the idea of manufacturing strategy. So, in this session we will try to summarize, we will try to bring together all those different perspectives to come with a holistic idea of manufacturing strategy. Now, in our last session we introduced the concept of world class manufacturing, and we discussed that world class is something which is best in class, which can set the benchmark. And just to connect this discussion with the previous discussion, you see that world class firms, world class manufacturing organizations are those organizations which have attained a very high level of manufacturing capability. High level of manufacturing capabilities are with respect to quality, with respect to low cost, with respect to very efficient delivery performances, with respect to their ability to provide customized products, or you can say flexibility. So, these are different types of manufacturing capabilities. So, world class manufacturing organizations have attained those highest level of manufacturing capabilities. And then the other important thing is, it is not just attaining those capabilities, but how to leverage those capabilities, how to use these capabilities to gain competitive advantage. That is another important aspect. If you have large amount of resources with you, that means you are at the point number 1. But now, how to use those resources to remain competitive in the market, that is the point number 2. And you are not only making those resources for your competitive advantage, but you are also looking continuously to improve your capabilities. Whatever resources you have, first you have the resource, that is the point number 1. Resource I am saying for the manufacturing capabilities. So, you have these manufacturing capabilities, you are using these capabilities for some kind of competitive advantage, and at the same time you are improving these capabilities, and then with the improved capabilities you are improving your stage of competitive advantage. It is a 3-stage process, and if you are having this 3-stage process, you are a world class manufacturing organization. You need to have some very distinct high level of manufacturing capability, use those manufacturing capabilities for your competitive advantage, and then continuously try to improve on your capabilities. For an example, companies like Apple and Samsung, they have the capabilities of innovation. They are continuously innovating, And then once they have this capability, then the second thing, that using that capability of innovation, they are bringing products to market at a faster rate. So, they are the leaders of introducing new type of technologies into the market, and they are continuously innovating more new products. So, they are filing more patents, they are creating more IPs. So, they are kind of world class manufacturing organizations on the basis of their strong capabilities of very high rate of innovation or very high rate of research and development, or you can say simply new product development. So, they have the capabilities of new product development, and they leverage upon this capability of new product development, and they are continuously trying to improve their new product development capabilities, or you can say they are continuously looking for how to reduce the time of bringing new products to the market. So, all three things you will find in these organizations, therefore, we call them world class manufacturing organizations. So, this is a very simple way to understand that what is a world class manufacturing organization. Now, once we have understood this broad, and I request all my participants that all through this course they must remember these 3 points with respect to world class manufacturing organizations, about their distinct manufacturing capabilities, about their ability to leverage those capabilities to gain competitive advantage, and then how are they using the principles of Kaizen to continuously improve those manufacturing capabilities. Now, we come to the next point, that how others have also defined this world class manufacturing, because we want to develop different types of perspectives for manufacturing strategy. Now, one of the very important contributor in the field of manufacturing strategy is Schonberger. Now, this Schonberger is contributed heavily in the field of manufacturing strategy. Now, Schonberger defines the goal of world class manufacturing as continuous and rapid improvement. So, he is looking for incremental or regular interval, and he is also looking for disruptions. So, he is talking of you need to go for continuous improvement, innovations, and at the same time you need to go for rapid improvement. So, both these things, yesterday if you remember, we have a tortoise and we have a rabbit, and rabbit was representing the rapid improvements and tortoise was representing the continuous improvement. So, we need both these things in our hand, and he is very specific in mentioning the manufacturing capabilities, that you need manufacturing capabilities in the area of quality, cost, lead time, customer service and flexibility. So, he said that the world class manufacturing organizations are those organizations which are able to continuously and rapidly improve their capabilities with respect to quality, cost, lead time, customer service and flexibility. So, these are the important areas. So, the previous point we were discussing, that was more generic in nature, where we were talking of all kinds of manufacturing capabilities. Schonberger gave specific inputs, specific factors with respect to quality, cost, lead time, customer service and flexibility. But more or less both of them are saying the same kind of idea, that you need to possess and then you need to improve these manufacturing capabilities. Now, in the literature of manufacturing strategy, we find 6 different types of perspectives of manufacturing. So, we call them as 6 P's of manufacturing. Please do not get confused with 4 P's of marketing. 4 P's of marketing are a different type of concept, where you have 4 different tools available with you, and by using those tools you can design one effective marketing plan, or you can design one effective marketing strategy. Here the meaning of 6 P's is the 6 different perspectives of manufacturing strategy. So, in how many different ways you can see the manufacturing strategy. So, that is the meaning of these 6 P's. Now, the 6 P's which are available to us are planning, proactiveness, pattern of action, portfolio of manufacturing capabilities, programs for improvement and performance measurement. These are the 6 P's of manufacturing strategy. Now, we will see in the coming slides that what these different P's mean to us. So, let us start with the planning P. Now, in a general management class, when we start any kind of management course, whether at the graduation level or at the post graduation level, we come across the basic functions of management, and the most fundamental function of management is known as planning. So, planning is, we all understand, to see something in advance, to prepare for that thing in advance. So, planning is doing something in advance, that this is going to happen, and to handle that what we need to do. We need to go from X place to Y place, and for going from X to Y, what all things we need to do, that is the part of, or that is the domain of planning. So, planning is a kind of a decisions for the future. You can understand that planning is decisions for future, and same thing applies for the manufacturing strategy, that you need to take some decisions for future with respect to manufacturing, that is the planning perspective of manufacturing. Or in other words also you can say that you have some manufacturing capabilities, and based on those manufacturing capabilities you want to decide the business strategy or the corporate strategy for your organization for the future. That is also the planning perspective of manufacturing strategy. So, what does it say? That it says that manufacturing strategy as a part of an essentially hierarchical corporate planning framework which assures a fit between manufacturing goals and actions and those of the larger organization. So, it says that this futuristic vision of manufacturing should be derived from the larger organization's objective. So, it is part of a corporate planning framework. We have already discussed in our previous sessions that you have a corporate level planning which becomes business level planning, and finally it comes to the operations strategy. So, what does this planning framework says? That it is a top down approach. This is one way of looking the manufacturing strategy, that it is a top down approach starting from the corporate planning framework to produce a fit between manufacturing goals and actions and the overall organization's objective, which is defined by the corporate level planning. But we have continuously argued that this top down approach, this is hierarchical approach, can be reversed also if we really want to take the advantage of our manufacturing activities. So, the operation strategy or the operation priorities or operation strength, you can say, be an input to corporate level planning, business level planning. At both these level you can find a very substantial input coming from your operation level strategies. So, this is the futuristic, that how the future of manufacturing will be dealt and how manufacturing can affect the future of corporate level and business level planning activities. So, that is the planning perspective of manufacturing. So, now you can see that if more details we want to go, that a company's strategy at a given time places particular demands on its manufacturing functions, and conversely that the company's manufacturing policies and operations should be specifically designed to fulfill the tasks demanded by the strategic plan. So, we are talking of two-way communication from corporate level to operation level and from operation level to corporate level. So, when we have a hierarchical planning structure in my organization, we expect that operation strategy is guided by the corporate level strategy, and corporate level strategy is guided by the or takes input from the operation level strategy. The second important P to understand what is manufacturing strategy is the proactiveness. We need to be proactive. We have discussed in earlier sessions that so far the role of operation in the organization is considered to be reactive in nature. Some function, maybe I can say marketing function, is the most dominating function, and based on marketing's requirement we need to adjust our operations role, and therefore it is known as reactive activity in the organization. And now even the top level, middle level or operation guys themselves feel that our job is to satisfy the demand of marketing, our job is to satisfy the corporate level strategy for the organization. But the perspective of proactiveness says that the ability of a manufacturer to anticipate new manufacturing processes and technologies and to implement long term programs to acquire capabilities in advance of needs. Today you may not be having the need. If you are doing something when need is there, that is reactive, but when you can foresee that tomorrow the need may be there and you start procuring, you start developing those manufacturing capabilities in advance of needs, that is the proactiveness. And in fact, most of the Indian organizations lack this particular phenomena of proactiveness. In our next session, the 8th session of this course of manufacturing strategy, we will be focusing a lot on this single aspect of proactiveness, that what is the state of organizations, particularly Indian organization, vis-a-vis proactiveness. But it is one very important perspective of manufacturing strategy. So, proactiveness is the single characteristic, as I was mentioning, emphasizing, that discriminates between manufacturing function that offer strategic benefit to the firm and those that do not. So, if manufacturing function is proactive, it is offering the strategic advantage, but if manufacturing function is not proactive, it will not give you the strategic advantage. Then you are always a follower, and being a follower you cannot enjoy the strategic advantage. So, that is why it is very specifically mentioned that proactiveness is that characteristics, it is that single characteristic which is responsible for gaining the competitive advantage from the manufacturing. The third important P is the pattern of actions. We say that how to identify the strategy of an organization. Now, the strategy of an organization can very easily be identified if I see the pattern of action, how the actions are being taken over a period of time, and that dots, if I am able to connect, that will give me the fair idea of the strategy of the organization. So, this point says that in case of manufacturing strategy, we need to see that with respect to capacity of your facilities, the development of new facilities, process technologies, vertical integration, production planning, control, quality system, organization, workforce, new product development. So, with respect to these various aspects, what type of decisions or actions a manufacturer is taking over a period of time, and those decisions, if you are able to track, if you are able to find some kind of connectivity in those decisions which are taken with respect to capacities, facilities, new product development, quality control, production process, etc., etc. So, you will be able to see that what type of strategy that organization is following for the operations purpose. So, if you are investing more money in developing new facilities, new warehouses, new plants, it means you are either trying to increase the presence in the market or you are looking for economies of scale, because bigger size is very close to economies of scale, and when you are talking of economies of scale, it means you want to reduce the cost of your product. So, you want to acquire, you want to develop the capability of low cost manufacturer. So, this is possible to see, this is possible to judge by observing your actions over the years. So, one way of looking manufacturing strategy, that what type of decisions, what type of actions you are taking with various manufacturing objectives. Another important P is portfolio of manufacturing capabilities. What type of manufacturing capabilities you have collected for your organization. So, that is also one important way to see your manufacturing strategy. Now, manufacturing capabilities we discussed maybe with respect to cost, maybe with respect to superior quality, maybe with respect to delivery speeds, maybe with respect to flexibility. So, these are different types of manufacturing capabilities. When I say the portfolio of manufacturing capabilities, so you are collecting different types of capabilities. You cannot survive only with one type of capability, that I am a low cost manufacturer, but with low cost I need to have a reasonable level of quality. I have to have a reasonable level of delivery also, a reasonable level of flexibility also. Since I am a low cost manufacturer, so I will never change my product design, because I am a low cost manufacturer. So, in that case, even if I am highly efficient organization, I am a low cost organization, but because I am not changing my product design, in no time my product will become obsolete, and once my product becomes obsolete, however efficient I may be, nobody is going to purchase my product. So, I need to develop some efficiency and some flexibility, so that I have a portfolio of capabilities of cost and flexibility. Sometime I require portfolio of cost and quality, sometime I have quality and delivery also. I am a luxury apparel manufacturer, I am a designer, so I am known for very superior quality, but many a times I get emergency orders, and then I have to fulfill those emergency orders with the same level of quality. So, I need to develop the capabilities of quality and delivery in that case. So, in today's scenario, it is not possible to survive with only one type of capabilities. We need more than one type of capabilities. Now, it is up to the organization, the size of the organization, the resources available with that organization, that how many capabilities I am able to keep in my portfolio. More capabilities, more chances to get success, more chances to enjoy that world class manufacturing status for the longer duration. Now, we have discussed these manufacturing capabilities, and we discussed that we need to have a combination of those manufacturing capabilities. In our coming sessions, we will discuss that how to develop, how to create these capabilities within the limited resources, and can we shift one capability to other capability also. If I am having the capability of producing high quality products, so if need comes, can that capability be converted into the capability of flexibility also, or the capability of innovation also. So, those things will be the part of our discussions in coming classes. Then another important P is programs of improvement, that what type of programs of improvement I am keeping. Kaizen is a very popular term, we all have heard many a times, that is about continuous improvement. So, we also need to have some type of programs of improvement. For many of us, manufacturing strategy means what type of programs of improvement I have. Even if you remember, in today's session, the very first point we discussed that we need to have manufacturing capabilities and then leverage those capabilities, and finally we discussed that we need to continuously improve those capabilities. So, that improvement of the capability is related to program of improvement, that how I am enhancing, how I am able to achieve higher degree of capabilities with respect to cost, quality, delivery, flexibility, etc. So, you can have some of the specific programs of improvement like TQM, total quality management, has become very important program of improvement. You can have JIT, just in time type of inventory management system. You have group technology for the layout designing of your organization. So, these programs you need to introduce. The organizations now in India also are taking TPM kind of improvement program, total productive maintenance, where we call them as some of the discussions say that TPM is nothing but world class manufacturing. So, Japan Institute of Plant Management has introduced the TPM awards, and many Indian companies are getting these TPM awards regularly. So, this points toward one idea that more and more Indian companies are understanding the importance of manufacturing strategy and therefore are able to get the TPM type of awards. So, that is about program of improvement. One last point for program of improvement is that most of these programs should be broad based, so that you can involve your lower level employees also into these activities of improvements. Without their involvement into the improvement activities, however sophisticated you have prepared the plan, it will be difficult to implement those plans. So, in all those improvement activities, we look that how to involve my all employees of different levels. Then the last P, the sixth P of the manufacturing strategy is about the performance measurement. What are your KPI, key performance indicators? We discussed in our last session that at the functional level and at the business level, there are different types of KPI, and because of that functional priorities are different and organizational priorities are different. So, we need to have some type of very systematic measures through which you can evaluate the manufacturing performance, and this criteria of evaluating the manufacturing performance should be in sync with the business level performance evaluation criteria. Then you are able to see that how my manufacturing strategy, how my actions related to manufacturing are contributing in the development of the business level objectives. If you have different objectives, if you have different criteria, if you have different yardsticks, then it will be difficult that investments done in the manufacturing, how these investments are giving return in the business level activities. So, we need to have those criteria, those settings that can help us in measuring my performance at the manufacturing level, and at the same time those can help me in understanding my business level performance also. So, with this finally if we conclude, we can see that in this figure different types of perspectives, different types of P's, all 6 type of P's are put together, and you see that out of these 6 P's, some P's are representing the process part of manufacturing and some P's are representing the content part. So, like you can see the manufacturing capabilities and programs of improvement, these are my content related P's, and planning and proactiveness are related to process parts, and performance measurements and pattern of action are combining the process and content. So, with this diagram you can see that how these different types of P's are helping us in defining my manufacturing strategy concept. So, this gives you a very holistic view to understand what is manufacturing. So, with this we come to end of this session. Thank you very much.